The Dallas Cowboys just dodged a major bullet as we have some huge Cowboys injury updates on Tyler Guyton, as after Ian Rapoport said that Guyton had torn his ACL, it is now confirmed that that is not the case. We give you the latest Cowboys injury news right here on Cowboys Digest. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning into the show, and a sigh of relief from me and every Cowboys fan in the nation, because it seems as though Guyton avoided an ACL tear that would have taken him out for an entire season, and now will be out for about 4 to 6 weeks. We'll tell you what the injury is now, but we have it to you first here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the almost 4,600 strong that come to us for your Cowboys news. Let's go to the full story here and kind of look back at what happened all today. So we're going to go from the morning to right now in our latest news. We start with this morning. Kyle Yormans reported this, that offensive tackle Tyler Guyton went down late in Monday's practice and was down for a bit, but was able to walk off on his own power. Now, he was flanked by the training staff and Micah Parsons, who helped him off the field a little bit as he made his way back to the locker room, along with Coach Riley, the offensive line coach, who provided encouragement as well. Now, here is the video from that. As you see, got a little bit of help from Micah on that right arm, but then uses his entire power, a kind of mad high five there, and the offensive lineman coach there, Riley, gives him a hug, gives him a little bit of encouragement, and we were all hoping for the best, thinking that maybe this was just something smaller than what it looked like. And then the sky came crashing down as about an hour or so ago, Ian Rapoport said this. Sources, Cowboys offensive tackle Tyler Guyton, who went down in practice today, is feared to have torn his ACL heading into an MRI. Now, this would have been, I say would have been, a significant blow to the Dallas offensive line unit if the test had confirmed this. But we now know that that is not the case. Tyler Guyton did not tear his ACL because we had a little bit of an inkling that maybe it wasn't as serious as it thought when Ian Rapoport had this. Says, while there is an obvious concern for serious knee injury, it doesn't appear that the MRI confirmed the diagnosis. At least there is a glimmer of hope for Tyler Guyton pending further testing. Now, Rapoport had this, and literally moments later, we get the sigh of relief tweet from Adam Schefter as he says Cowboys left tackle Tyler Guyton's ACL is intact after an MRI per Todd Archer. He has a bone fracture that will not require surgery, and he now is expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And while 4 to 6 weeks is definitely a long time, I am very, very thankful that it is 4 to 6 weeks and not the entire season, because this was all happening after already this morning we got a report from Adam Schefter that said that Robert Jones had been injured as well, and he's going to miss 2 to 3 months as he broke a bone in his neck on Sunday's practice. Injuries have long been a factor for the Dallas Cowboys, especially last season, and it was looking like that might have been the case this season. And while it still technically is, 4 to 6 weeks is no small amount. It's about 2 months when you combine it, and maybe we get Guyton back, hopefully week 2, week 3 is what I'm kind of seeing right now. Obviously, 4 to 6 weeks, it's very fluctuating. Maybe we could see him by week 1, but I have to expect that the Cowboys are going to be very, very careful with Guyton, considering this guy was a former first-round pick out of Oklahoma and had high expectations for this upcoming season. And luckily, those high expectations can now stand still for just a moment and hopefully be there when he's ready to come back, because the offensive line, literally in about 24 hours, went from, oh, we're in a great spot, we have a lot of depth, there is a lot of guys that I trust on this offensive line unit. You've got the starters of Guyton, Smith, Beebe, Booker, and Steele, to, well, there goes Tyler Guyton, right? That's what we thought. And he's still gone 46 weeks. And then obviously Robert Jones this morning, and you're thinking, oh, okay, let's stop there. We had these injury problems last year. I'm not about to have to do this season all over again. But again, thankfully, it is not that way, and we can go back to looking at Tyler Guyton as hopefully a breakout candidate this upcoming year. Now, I know that the Cowboys offensive line unit is kind of in an interesting spot. Obviously, they went through a transition period this offseason, losing Martin, Tyron Smith being gone. It's a new kind of generation for this Cowboys offensive line, and Tyler Guyton is a part of that new generation. Now, was he lighting up the world last year? No, not necessarily. But for a rookie, these aren't terrible. 49.4 in the overall PFF grade, which is 115th out of 140th in all of tackles, which I don't take too much into account considering the pass block grade, which as a tackle personally, I'm going to take a look at that a little bit more than that run blocking grade. There's not too much logic behind that, but that's just the way I kind of see it and the way I watch my football games. He was 81st out of 140, which still is not like amazing, but it's, closing in on about midway in the NFL, which as a rookie, if you're doing midway in the NFL, I'll take that, especially being a first round pick and being shuffled a bit. So run block grade wasn't great, 116th out of 140 in all the tackles in the NFL. But again, this is why this season was going to be a key thing for Tyler Guyton. And now it is off to a little bit of a shaky start because I sit here and say, sigh of relief on all this. 4 to 6 weeks is still not great when you talk about training camp and the preparation, especially for offensive linemen, that it takes to be ready for week 1. Now, we got the pads on. He finally put the pads on today, and unfortunately, it lasted about a couple days. Now, this is obviously a very unfortunate time, but all I'll say is when we got this tweet from Adam Schefter, I think I breathed about all the air left in my lungs in a sigh as thank goodness. The torn ACL, it was not good because it just kind of had the feel of, well, here we go again. Like it's going to be another one of those types of seasons. Oh, great. We're in training camp, and today we lost 2 offensive linemen for, one for what felt like at the time the entire season, and another for 2 to 3 months. We're talking, a couple weeks into the season at that point. And thinking, okay, this isn't great. But now it looks like we'll have Tyler Guyton back pretty early on this season. They're going to be careful with him, so just be kind of patient with that. I don't expect him to be rushed back to try and make week 1 or week 2 or week 3, whatever. They're going to keep him on a very slow-moving track to make sure that this does not turn into anything else, especially when the initial reports were a torn ACL. Obviously, it's great. Now, apparently, it's just a bone fracture, so there's no surgery with this. That's obviously the good news. It's just rest. He's going to have to kind of bite the bullet here and just sit down and just let that bone heal. This doesn't mean, though, that the ACL is going to be like, I'm not going to say the ACL is more prevalent to being torn, but when your leg has a bone fracture, there's going to be more stress on a bunch of those ligaments and tendons down there, including the ACL. So, like I said, the process with this is going to be kept very slow moving with the Dallas Cowboys. When you consider that the injuries for last season continue to pile up, they're not starting off great. Obviously, we look like we're going to get Trevon Revel Jr. for week 1. Trevon Diggs looking like he'll be ready for week 1, but offensive line wise, today was a scary, scary day, but looking like this offense is going to be pretty dang good with that offensive line. I think we'll still hand it out. I don't really know. We'll probably go with Richards in that left tackle area to replace Guyton for whatever time he is out. We could see Cornelius move over there. I don't know. Given he was a 6th round pick, it's a little bit interesting. We'll have to wait and see there. But Terrence Steele, obviously, looking for a bounce back year for him. Tyler Booker being a rookie, there's a lot of high expectations there. Cooper Beebe, love him. Tyler Smith, and then of course, talking about Tyler Smith, the extensions that are being floated around, and then Tyler Guyton, who, we'll see when he actually comes back. But again, this offense is still in a very good spot, and the timing of this stinks. However, this is a position that there is a little bit of, I'm not going to say depth, but the starters on this line were viewed as such a good group, such a good position for the Dallas Cowboys that 1 to 2 injuries, especially with Robert Jones in a depth position, aren't going to take out this team. It's not going to be something that we're going to be sitting back, a week from now and be like, we really need Tyler Guyton or we really need Robert Jones. I think we're going to be okay with that. And good news, bad news, it happened early in training camp, so we can, get whoever's going to be that starter, whoever's going to replace it, whether it's Cornelius or, whoever it is, that we can start putting them with ones right now. He'll be, training as a 1 the entire camp, and we won't have to worry about, knowing the plays, all that stuff, being in the right formation, blocking the right guy, miscommunication on the line. He'll be in with the line the entire training camp, and then obviously we'll have Guyton back whenever he does return. That's all we got for you today here on Cowboys Digest. Like I said, if you want the latest news on everything going on around the Dallas Cowboys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're closing in on 4,600. We just need one of you to subscribe, so just do that. If you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button. But we appreciate you. As always, we're going to see you next time here on Cowboys Digest. Peace out.